second step in this three-step cycle for ever-increasing effectiveness is a strategic plan. Now, a strategic plan is simply a strategy for how you'll carry out your plan, your theory of change. Virtually every organization that I've ever evaluated has some form of a strategic plan. However, very few have it documented, and even fewer have all 6 elements that I recommend. Organizations often fail to design their strategic plan from their theory of change, and they definitely fail to measure their strategic plan with a reliable M&E process. But when designed well, a strategic plan is not only an invaluable asset for your programmatic team, it's also an incredibly valuable asset to your fundraising team. A good strategic plan is a packaged, measurable, and fundable plan for how you will implement your theory of change. It's simply putting your theory of change into practice. Your M&E process will measure your strategic plan, which will then inform your theory change, which will then inform your next strategic plan. And our recommended strategic plan contains 6 core elements. It contains your activities, your location, your timeline, your costs, your expected outputs, and any other details that you want to include in your strategic plan. Your activities are the actions your organization will take. Your location is where you take those actions. Your timeline is when you take those actions. Your cost is how much it takes to do those actions in that place over that timeline. And your expected outputs are the results of those actions in that location over that timeline with that budget. Finally, I encourage you to include any other details that will be helpful for internal and external stakeholders to know about your program. It doesn't have to be super detailed, but just 30,000-foot details about your program. An activity, location, time, and cost-bound program helps your team execute your strategic plan, and it allows funders to come alongside it in a really tangible way. A strategic plan is really straightforward. We want to keep it simple, and that's on purpose because we want to help your team execute it. If it's too difficult to execute, it won't be done really well. So we want to try to keep it as simple as possible while also making sure that we include the major details in these 6 core elements. And if you put the time into developing a rock solid theory change, and if your team takes the following 4 steps to develop a really strong strategic plan, well, you're well on your way to becoming a really, really effective program.